Screen Team Media.
My question is for Mr. Seahole.
Thank you. You're the first person to pronounce my last name correctly.
What do you plan on doing after Dexter?
That disappear. Just go. No, I don't know, man. I mean, I'll keep mixing it up. You know, I didn't know Dexter was in my future back when I was a funeral director, so. So, I don't know, your guess is probably as good as mine, but hopefully something that I can not quite imagine at this point.
Sarah, let me ask you, I think Dexter's a character that is so rich you could reasonably mine it for years and years and years. It pretty much would have to be up to you, I guess, to decide when to call it quits. Everyone involved would have to make a choice. Has there been any thought as to how you might resolve Dexter's journey?
I think everybody involved has their vague to specific notions about how things might end, but we have yet come to that time where we really have to pin it down. But that time will come.
I mean, come on. Everything has to end. What's your question?
I'd like to say really quick that I love Mizuko's little laugh when he goes like,
Sorry, what was that?
My question is for Mr. Michael Hall.
No, it's good.
Is it difficult to act so emotionless and dark? How do you do that in your acting?
I don't know. I think it's difficult to find ways for some sort of emotional life to be there in spite of what Dexter tells us. You know, I think that's what makes him interesting. That we're meant to second guess his claim that he's without emotion, because he clearly is with emotion, if that makes sense. But I don't know. I mean, that's the tightrope that I'm required to walk is what really keeps me coming back, you know? That's what's fun about it.
So, I am a South Florida native, and there is another show that takes place in Miami that several Dexter characters have appeared on called Burn Notice, and I want to know if there's any more plans to do anything like that, or maybe a Dexter Burn Notice crossover, because that would probably be the best thing ever.
Any plans for a Dexter Burn Notice crossover episode?
Yeah, it was going to be a Dexter and Sanford crossover.
All right, what's your question?
This is a short question from Asuka. We got a little preview of it earlier, but can you do the little laugh for us again?
Anyone can do it. Come on. Let's all do it at once.
David, Batista had to deal with some anger issues last season, had to work his way through some emotional stuff. It was nice to see that character sort of grow and develop. How much of a role do the actors get to play in perhaps suggesting things for their characters in the course of a season?
You know, it's pretty, you know, when you come to work and the writing is so good, usually, you know, instinctual things come out, you know, but not too much input, because after 5 years, I think the writers have such a great understanding of the character and a great understanding of me as an actor that it kind of pretty much meshes together pretty well. And whatever I can think of when I read the script is usually a lot better, you know. So I just go with the flow, and if there's something on the day that, you know, I want to input character-wise, it's very collaborative, and they're very helpful in trying to incorporate that. But usually, I usually rely on what's written, and it's usually really, really good.
Great. Hi, what's your question?
Yes, my question is for C.S. Lee. It seems like every character on the series has gone through a very complicated romantic relationship. I was curious if, as an actor, you'd be interested in Masuka going past, you know, his perverted ways and exploring something a little more romantic and complex.
Well, according to Masuka, his ways are romantic. His definition of pervertedness is, I think, different from yours. But no, I'm always excited to see new material coming up for Masuka, and I mean, we all know him as a you know, flaming crotch, but you know, there's other sides to him, and you'll see some more this year. This next coming up season.
Hi, my question is for Michael. Do you ever think there will be a character that he can connect to and show his true self that won't die or leave him?
Maybe.
It did seem like last season emotions started to sprout in Dexter that hadn't been there before. Certainly there was a strong connection with Lumen, stronger feelings for Harrison. Does that create problems for Dexter this coming season? I know you can't talk too much about it, but are we going to see a progression of that, or will he regress perhaps a little bit?
I mean, he's certainly unplugged from the Lumen episode consciously and is not preoccupied with some sort of unrequited longing. But I think in Dexter there always is, along with adherence to the #1 rule of not getting caught, a flip side desire for legitimate connection. If nothing else, he connects with his victims, which is, you know, tragic every time because it never lasts, you know. But yeah, I mean, I think whether he's talking about it consciously or in voiceover or pursuing it in some specific relationship, there always is in the character, I think, an appetite to connect in a legitimate way.
And yet his own version of his father seems to continually try to remind him that that's not in the cards for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad.
Hi, my question is for C.S. Lee. What are your relatable traits to Masuka?
Everything. No, honestly, I'm just a regular guy who likes to hang out in dark bars and wear different nice tight outfits. No, it's fun to pretend. It's all pretend. And, I actually draw from some of my friends who have these similar qualities. So, I won't name them. They know who they are. It's all imagination, really. It's just imagination.
Show rocks. Thank you guys very much. Just need a confirmation. Was Rita killed by the Trinity Killer? It was implied. They didn't show it. They didn't say it.
Good point.
I think that was pretty clear, yes.
That's a yes.
Hello. My name is Elizabeth. I came all the way from Texas to see you guys. And Michael, you will always be Gay David to me. So I love Dexter. And so my question is,
you could just call him David if you want to lose a syllable.
my question is, do you, even though they're such different characters, do you see any of David in Dexter and vice versa?
Yeah, I think they both. Well, it's certainly David when we first meet him. Both characters are keeping secrets, so there's that. But I think both comfortable around bed. They're probably more different than similar.
Although they do look alike.
They look a lot alike.
Yeah. Notice that. Go ahead with your question.
Right, and the dead body's the dead body.